is The Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, The Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on The Jason Walker Show.
He is freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on The Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
The Jason Walker Show.
Hey, what up? Happy Thursday. The Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana state law says it is your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Coming up today, Grizzly Athletics. We'll talk about Griz hoops. A couple of big games tonight and the Big Sky. And we'll recap the Frontier as well. But Lance Hartzler will join us from the Missoulian, 406mtsports.com. We'll also get his thoughts on some high school hoops that are going on right now. A lot of divisionals taking place across the state. It's an exciting time of the year in the state of Montana. You can watch the show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, TreasureStateRadio.com. Go to JasonWalkerShow.com. Our Twitter handle @JWalkerSports. Our phone number 406-209-1267. You can also email Jason at JasonWalkerShow.com. The opening segment brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes, the premier log home company in the industry with 3 distinct divisions, so you can create the log home of your dreams and, most importantly, your budget. Milled, handcrafted, and timber frame. Get a hold of Montana Custom Log Homes. Over 50 years experience, the finest craftsmen available in the state, and they will build you a house crafted to last for generations. YourCustomLog.com. So that's coming up with hoops. All right, speaking of hoops, there was a bunch last night, and the Frontier will start there. The Carroll women playing angry after coming off a double overtime loss at Providence last week, which denied the Saints the first-round bye. Carroll had to host MSU Northern. They took it out on the Skylight 73-39 in the quarterfinals, going 4-0 against Northern this year. Jamie Pickens finished with 18 points, 9 rebounds. Carroll was, 62% in the opening quarter? And led by 20 at the end of the first, 28 at the half. And Pickens got some help. Christine Denny, 13 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. Sienna Swanek, 11. Danny Wagner, 10. And now they get to go up to Providence to take on NAI Player of the Week, Parker Esri, who comes off a career-high 39 points last week in that 93-92 double overtime win over the Saints. Now, not to take anything away from Parker Esri, Emily Maldonado, the great careers they've had in Argo colors, but they've had the extra year. You know, they're both over 2,000 points, but neither one would have gotten there without the extra COVID year. But they're great players, and Carroll's got to find a way to win in Great Falls. They haven't done it this year, and they're going to need to if they want to play Rocky in the championship, because Rocky is probably going to beat Tech. We'll recap that Tech Western game here in a second, but Carroll's got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out in a hurry. They play Saturday up in Providence. A lot of players back for Carroll, too. You know, let's not forget that. A lot of players back in general because of the COVID year. But you can't give up 39 points to Parker Esri. You got to figure out how to stop her. Now, a few years ago, Carroll had a couple of players by the name of Cassie Hashley and Hannah Dean, who would get into Esri's head, get her in foul trouble, and take her out of the game. So far this year, Carroll hasn't been able to do that. It's got to be up to Jamie Pickens. It's got to be up to Christine Denny. It's got to be up to, players off the bench. Maddie Garrett's got to get into Esri's head. Get her in foul trouble. You can't let her go for almost 40 points or you will lose. I don't know how they do it up there, but Bill Himmelberg has that team ready to go every time they play Carroll. And every time it comes to be the postseason. Bill Himmelberg, a great postseason coach. He's won games at the NAI National Tournament that nobody thought they should win. He's gotten teams into the national tournament. Just a couple years ago, Providence went 3-0 on the road to win the conference tournament, and then COVID hit, and they couldn't go to the NAI tournament. I believe they were the 4 seed, had to play 3 straight road games, made the 5 seed. But got to figure it out by Saturday if you're the Carroll women. And Rochelle Sayers is a great coach. Last night, a little bit of an upset in the Frontier. Brooke Hagee, the transfer, had 20 points, 10 boards, and Tech upset number 4 Western on the road, 76-67 down in Dillon. Tavia Rooney, 16 points, 8 rebounds. She's so good. If you guys haven't seen Tavia Rooney play yet, you're missing out. The Townsend girl has been nothing short of, spectacular, really, in her entire career, and she's only a sophomore. And she might be the strongest, most athletic person in the Frontier, in women's basketball. They're so good. She's just strong, tough, and she's fast too. And she can lead. I mean, she leads her team in rebounding. And she's not, she's 5'10"? I mean, she's fantastic. And that's a good win for Carly Sannon and the Ore Diggers. Now their reward is number 1, Rocky, which is not going to be an easy test. Allie Cleverly was in double figures last night as well. But they get to head to Rocky and India Fly, who's, led Wes Kelleher's team back to the top for Rocky. That'll be 7 o'clock. Both games on the women's side, 7 o'clock Saturday down in Billings. And then, of course, Carroll and Providence up at Great Falls. So that'll be a fun one. Tomorrow you've got the men's semifinals. Tech hosting someone. Montana Western. And number 1 seed Carroll will be hosting MSU Northern. We'll have that game for you on SWX. I'll be on the call with the legendary Joe McMahon. That'll be a lot of fun calling both of those, or calling that game, both of us. And he's fun to work with. I haven't worked with Joe in a while, though. It's been some time. I think the only games we worked together were January of 2014 when Carroll hosted MSU Northern. In basketball, we did the doubleheader. He's a good dude, though. It's fun. So that'll be 7 o'clock Friday night on SWX. Montana will have that call. Carroll and MSU Northern men. The championships will be Saturday or Monday afternoon. Wow, 3, 2, 1. Monday on the men's side and Tuesday on the women's side in the Frontier. Speaking of, we talked about it yesterday. It came out officially today. The Carroll men and Rocky women will host the opening round of the NAI tournament. That was announced today. 16 host sites selected for each gender. And 4 teams, single elimination tournament, 11th and the 12th during state tournaments. That will be rocking in Billings because you'll have the women's pod. I can't imagine they're going to send anybody but Rocky women to there. I mean, Carroll, Providence, Rocky women are going to the NAI tournament. They're not going to send Providence or Carroll down to Rocky. So it'll be interesting to see where the Carroll and Providence women end up. And then the Carroll men will host. They won't send the Tech men here, so it'll be interesting to see where they send the Tech men. But this is big. But you have in Billings that weekend, the 11th and 12th of March, next weekend, or 2 weekends from now. Right? Yeah. Because what is today? What month are we in? February. Today's the 24th. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. It'll be, you got the state AA at the Metra, and then NAI National Opening Round Tournament at the Fortin Center in Billings. And then Carroll College will be hosting. That'll be fun. So expect some good basketball in Helena and Billings, along with Great Falls, the State C, Bozeman, the Class A, or Class B, and then I'll be in Missoula in 2 weeks for the Class A tournament, boys and girls. Lots of basketball. Lots and lots of basketball. So we know the Billings, we know Rocky will will host. So where would Carroll and Providence end up? Park City, Kansas. You look at close areas. The women will head, these are your 16 host sites in the NAI tournament for the first round, opening round. Alexandria, Louisiana, Billings, Bowling Green, and Crestview Hills, Kentucky. Dayton, Tennessee, Indianapolis, Lakeland, Florida, Marion, Indiana, New Orleans, Newhall, California, Omaha, Nebraska, Park City, Kansas. One of the Carroll women or Providence women could end up in Omaha and or Park City. One of the other, I bet. Plainview, Texas, Santa Barbara, Sioux City, Iowa, and then Wichita, Kansas. On the men's side, Alexandria, Louisiana, Bourbonnais, Illinois, Caldwell, Idaho, Crestview Hills, Kentucky, Helena, Lakeland, Florida, Marion, Indiana, Montgomery, Alabama, Nolens, Omaha, Oskaloosa, Iowa, Park City, Kansas, Rockland, California, Talladega, Alabama, Waxahachie, Texas, and Wichita, Kansas. So there you go. That's the opening rounds. That'll be in 2 weeks. Got divisionals going on across the state as well. We got a lot of hoops. It's crazy. And it's actually a good thing because it keeps some of our mind occupied on what's going on across the world. And, man, thoughts with Ukraine. Holy cow. Started watching that last night when it happened. And, man, not good. It is definitely not good right now. But there is goodness, as we mentioned, because we have basketball. And yesterday in Class AA, Gallatin beat Belgrade. Eli Hunter had 30 points. Tavius Randolph, Belgrade, had a school record 38. Well, that was Tuesday night. But good basketball being played. Okay, so you've got the Eastern A going on right now. We've got a lot of scores coming in, and we'll update as we get them throughout the course of this show. Florence Carleton leading Thompson Falls 43-28. Loyola beat St. Ignatius 63-49. These are boys' scores. Big Fork over Arlie 62-44. Roy Winifred beat Big Sandy. These are yesterday. Shields Valley over Darby today. Manhattan Christian just hammered Charlo. It was like 70-30-something. So Manhattan Christian will play Shields Valley. The girls, Sealy Swan will play Manhattan Christian. Sealy beat West Yellowstone 50-36. Manhattan beat Charlo 43-30. And we mentioned the Shields Valley score. Manhattan Christian beat Charlo 76-32 today. So lots of great stuff going on. And that includes Big Sky Hoops. And when we return here on the Jason Walker Show, we'll talk to 406mtsports.com sports reporter Lance Hartzler. He's going to talk wax poetic on Grizzly sports. got a couple of great articles up on 406mtsports.com, themissoulian.com, and we'll talk to Lance when we come back here. Jason Walker Show opening segment presented by Montana Custom Log Homes. Family-owned and operated, veteran-owned, woman-owned, milled, handcrafted, and timber frame divisions. They will stack your log package so all your builder has to do is really finish it out. And they'll fit your budget and craft a home that will last for generations. Check out Montana Custom Log Homes at yourcustomlog.com. All right, coming right back, Jason Walker Show. Lance Hartzler will join us. We're presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana state law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle, and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show on a Thursday. Don't forget, tomorrow, no show. We'll be at Carroll College with SWX Montana, broadcasting the Carroll and Northern Men's Frontier Conference semifinal game. The other one, you'll have Tech hosting Montana Western. And then the women play on Saturday. And then championships for the men Monday, women on Tuesday. And we'll have those for you as well. Oh, and then NFHS. I'll be in Missoula in a couple of weeks, getting ready for the State A Combined, and that is the town where we find our next guest. He is the great sports reporter from SWX Montana, or from 406mtsports.com. I can't keep everything straight. His name is Lance Hartzler. Moved up from Flagstaff. Flagstaff just got like 1.5 feet of snow yesterday, I saw. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I'm actually kind of missing it. I love the yearly dump that Flagstaff always got around this time of year.
All right. So this segment, by the way, brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. All right, Lance Hartzler, 406mtsports.com. Lots of hoops. We were just talking before we came on the air. You're at the home office waiting for scores to come in. You've got calls to make. You've got high school scores to report on, and then you still have Griz hoops tonight, right?
It is a day full of basketball, myself and just about every sports writer in the state.
But this is why we do it, right? I was talking to Alex Eshelman yesterday, and she said this is why we love what we do and why we're in this business, because what else would we rather be doing right now?
No, it's great. I get paid to watch sports and just wait and talk to coaches about how they did. Shoot, I talked to the Frenchtown High boys basketball coach, Brandon Robbins. His team won on a last-second buzzer beater in the third overtime.
Wow. Wow. All right, so which high school games are you covering mostly, or are you just doing scores right now?
I'm keeping tabs on Hamilton Polson. Their girls basketball game just ended. They went 59-19. Hamilton took down Polson. And I also had a quick notebook on Frenchtown coming up just in the Western A down in Hamilton. Not much else other than just keeping scores up from Missoulian Online. While Frank Gagola, my coworker, was over in Frenchtown as the Sealy Swan girls got over a slow start down West Yellowstone as they advanced in the Western C.
And I think they play Manhattan Christian next, if I recall. So,
yes, I believe so.
Yeah, lots of great hoops. The high school season is really great. And so now that you've had a week into it, I asked you this last week, how does it compare to Arizona?
It's different because Arizona, they don't have these district divisional tournaments. The way Arizona does it is basically it's split up into conferences, which is basically the Western AA equivalent, and then they break it down into regions, which would be the districts. But they don't play tournaments for the higher levels. So like the A or AA, you wouldn't see a district tournament. It would just be the top X teams make it to a giant state tournament.
Okay.
So instead of having all these district tournaments where the top 4 advance, you just have a bunch that make it because they also have this weird formula that decides the top X seeds. It's kind of funky how they do it, but it's just different. I'm digging the way Montana does it because it makes these tournaments a bit more, there's just a lot more life, a lot more fun. You have these top 4 out, these loser out games. So it just adds a different element that I'm kind of digging.
Lance Hartzler, our guest, 406mtsports.com on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. So now tomorrow, Polson battles on the girls' side with Browning. You talk about a whale of a basketball game to stay alive. I mean, that's just a stay alive game.
Right, exactly. And that's what makes these type of tournaments so cool. You have that type of scenario just to get to the state tournament. You got to go through the gauntlet.
Oh, I love it. It's the best. Are you going to Boise or will you be in Missoula in 2 weeks?
I'll be in Missoula helping out with the Class A state tournament.
Nice. So we'll have to meet up over there in person because I'll be over there with NFHS doing the State A combined on broadcasting. So there you go.
Heck yeah, man.
Fun stuff. You can show me where to hang out in Missoula.
I got you.
All right. Let's talk Griz hoops real quick because that's the main reason you're on. We're still in the regular season, the Big Sky. Some teams have 4 games left. Some teams have 5 games left. But I was reading a couple of your articles. It's with the Griz men, it's bounce-back wins after strange and tough losses, and they have to do it again tonight.
Yeah, that's been the MO. I feel like I've said it each of the past 2 or 3 times I've been on. They lost to Idaho last week when I didn't think they would, and you know what? So it goes. Now they have to bounce back against Southern Utah, a team that the last time they lost to a team from Idaho, they bounced back an 11-point win against Southern Utah. They get another chance tonight, this time in Cedar City. And I personally do think they match up very well with Southern Utah. It kind of depends, though. I wrote about a little bit this week. The defense with Mack Anderson, when he plays, it is great. They are really good on the back line, but he's been out since he got hurt in the NAU game. And I think that kind of showed in the Idaho game because the Vandals were able to get downhill, get into the paint, get comfortable, where usually if Mack is there, you have a guy who, yeah, he gets into foul trouble, but that's a body that knows how to rotate. He knows how to guard high screen and rolls from the big position and still recover. Missing him was kind of a big deal against Idaho. And if he doesn't play against Southern Utah, like last I heard he was day-to-day, and he still is, that's a big deal against a team like Southern Utah that has a lot of good straight-line drivers.
I know you've only covered the Griz for a year now, but you've covered the Big Sky. It seems like Mack Anderson from Bozeman, when he was so good in high school, but he's just never gotten off the ground because of injuries, which is sad to say because he's such a great player, but he's never had the career I don't think a lot of Griz fans were hoping for. What's your thoughts?
I think he's a great player. I think his impact just doesn't show up in the box score. And I obviously didn't watch him in high school, but I've heard from other reporters around here that he was awesome. Like he put up phenomenal numbers for Bozeman High. But obviously you just don't know how that's necessarily going to translate to D1 level. But what he does just flies under the radar because he's the perfect big for DeCure's defensive system. He knows how to rotate. He's athletic enough to get to his spot on a moment's notice. He from both a lateral quickness and a verticality standpoint, he can do everything you want out of a defensive big. It just hasn't shown up offensively, and he doesn't rake in all the rebounds. But I guess Josh Bannon's in a double-double machine, so there's not a lot of rebounds left to get. When Bannon gets double-doubles, the other guards like Robbie Beasley and Brandon Whitney are also on the glass. So his numbers don't really show up, but that's not a big deal because if you're watching the game and really kind of paying attention, you can see how he impacts the defense.
We're talking with Lance Hartzler of 406mtsports.com. All right, Griz on the road, their final road game before they finish out with 3 straight, including the Cats on Sunday, and then Northern Colorado and Sac State. When you look at the standings, Lance, these are all big games because the Griz sit right now a game behind Southern Utah and a game behind Northern Colorado. You've got the Thunderbirds tonight, a team that they need to win to split with, and then you've got Northern Colorado next week, a team that you've already lost to. These are big and a chance to move up into the standings with victories.
Right. Well, the Southern Utah, if they beat them, it's actually a sweep, which, man, that would be huge.
Yeah.
If they can sweep Southern Utah and get above them to potentially move into the 3 line. Because if they can split with Northern Colorado, beat Southern Utah tonight, I don't want to say Sac State's a given because Sac State does kind of, they're tough. They're better than what they look like. They're at the bottom of the league at 3-13. So they make things ugly. But if you can take care of business in Sac State, that gives you wiggle room if you don't beat Montana State on Sunday to move into that 3 line so you're not stuck with that really tough 4-5 game.
What's the highest they can finish on the Griz men's standings?
I think they could finish as high as 2,
okay,
but I'm not totally positive. I'm not that great with tiebreakers, to be brutally honest.
I'm not either.
I don't think they can get to 1. I think if they win out, that would put them at 14-6. And I think that would still put them at a tie or basically at 2 or 1, depending on how other tiebreakers go. I don't think their overall record would be as good. It kind of depends on how Montana State finishes.
Yeah, and the Cats finish a lot with the same teams, and that's coming off the surprising win. But then they go down to Cedar City and get the win last week, which was huge. Now they've got 8 days off before they play Montana again. It's a little like the first matchup, although this one's in Dahlberg. It'll be crazy on Sunday afternoon. But the Cats with some rest time and coming off that tough loss to Eastern, which you and I chatted about last week. But then you've got Southern Utah. Or no, we didn't chat about it because they got hosed, and it was Thursday, and then they played that night, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it.
Right, yeah, they had that overtime loss to Eastern
Yes.
Washington, and then they turned right around and beat Southern Utah on the road.
Yeah, which was a big win. And go from, I mean, it's not easy in the Big Sky anyway, but it's not easy to get from Cheney to Cedar City, Utah. I think you have to drive to Spokane, fly to Vegas, and then drive up. Is that how it's done?
That's what I would guess. Yeah, I would assume you can't fly into Cedar City, and Vegas is the closest biggest airport. So, yeah, that's not a fun road trip.
So when you look at Southern Utah, this is a team that's 10-3 at home. What do the Griz have to do tonight to win and get that sweep over the T-Birds?
No, do exactly what you did last time when they played in Dahlberg. They shut down John Knight III, who's arguably the best straight-line driver in the Big Sky. He's uber athletic, not a jump shooter, and they made his life miserable. Southern Utah is a long, rangy, athletic team. If they get hot from deep, they're dangerous. But if you can just get them off balance and not in transition, like Montana is good at doing against those type of teams, you stand a chance. Now, the question becomes, does Montana's offense roll? That's kind of been the hiccup. Sometimes when the offense doesn't click, you get into those potential upset scenarios. But I think Montana matches up well against Southern Utah. If they hang in on defense, do what they do, hit free throws, have a disciplined offensive approach, and don't let Southern Utah get in transition, that's how you beat that type of team.
And then you've got the Cats in Dahlberg on Sunday. It's normally a few years ago, this would have been a cakewalk, and nobody had been talking about it. But now we're talking about how big this game is, not just because of the state bragging rights and the Brawl of the Wild stuff. There's a lot on the line for the Bobcats, especially if they win this game.
Oh, absolutely. It is a huge game from Big Sky standings, just the storyline of Montana State breaking out this year with all these seniors and Danny Sprinkle's second or third year. I'm blanking on how long he's been there, my bad. And just doing what they're doing, if they somehow walk into Dahlberg and sweep the Griz, that is nutty. Even though, like, they are the better team this year. They've shown it. You can't not say it. They're 21-6, 13-3. Yeah, they've escaped some games, but they've done that because they got the senior discipline. They got the leadership to do it. Like, Montana State is a good basketball team. I didn't expect them to be this good, but they are good, and they are showing it through the Big Sky play.
When you look at Sunday, what's the best matchup for the Griz?
So when you say best, you mean the one they need to exploit, or just kind of, what do you mean by that? That's a tough question to answer.
I don't know. I'm just asking stuff. I'm just making it up as I go, Lance. No, I mean, but What is the best matchup for them on the floor as far as a chance to beat MSU?
So I would say the most important is going to be Xavier Bishop and Brandon Whitney. Okay. Bishop, the small little point guard for Montana State, who just makes their offense go. If Brandon Whitney can hold him down, and then if, let's say, Mack Anderson is healthy, they need to do better on Jabril Bello than they did last time. He's a tank down there. He drops fouls. He mucks things up down in the paint. Those two in particular are really the matchups Montana will probably have to key in on. And honestly, we've seen it lately. Raekwon Battle is a freaking fire starter lately. And if you cannot let him do that, then you also have a good chance.
What do you anticipate for the crowds for Saturday and Sunday?
I would guess it's going to be the most packed game we've had all year. Dahlberg has barely been over. I want to say the highest has been about 3,300. I would assume it gets to 5K. Especially on Sunday, I bet, because that's a big one with the guys. Let's switch over to the gals. Lady Griz, same type of deal, but they've picked up some wins when they need to and have kept alive for that bye for the first round, sitting at 9-7 in that three-way cluster with Sac State and NAU. What do you see out of the Lady Griz? Yeah, honestly, I almost feel like I'm going to repeat myself. It's the same thing. They've been struggling as of late. Unlike the men, they've had a little bit different injury woes. Same fact, and still day to day, if I believe, but they are in the same spot. They have a good bounce back opportunity in Southern Utah, and they should be able to get a nice win at home. If they can do that, that would really help them in that. Like you said, it's a cluster between Sac State and Southern Utah and NAU. Like even Southern Utah at 12-5 in the conference, they're not that far off. But no. Between NAU, Sac State, that's a mess down there trying to vie for that final bye spot. Well, you look at Brian Holsinger in his first season, and he's done a nice job, I think. And he's dealt with, Sammy Fatkin being out. But, they had a chance to sweep Idaho. I watched that game Monday, and Sophia Stiles had a great chance at the buzzer. But, they were lucky to escape. That could have gone as a sweep for Idaho, a sweep for the Griz. Instead, they end up splitting, which you kind of thought they might. If you said if they can go 2-1, that'd be really good for the weekend. Now they've got Southern Utah at home tonight, a team that they've beaten already this year, which has to be giving them a lot of confidence heading into this game. Right. And I think Holsinger told our sports editor, Bill Phelps, they're 2 plays away from being 11-5. That's how close they are. Yeah. That's how close the Big Sky race has been in that little bracket. The margin for error is minuscule right now. And that's going to make the Big Sky tournament kind of nutty. As it always does, of course. But so Southern Utah tonight, what did the Lady Griz do to sweep? I'm going to say they need to control the pick and roll. I know Montana has a really strong pick and roll game when it's rolling, and that gets their offense in a groove. If they can get that downhill pick and roll game rolling, get some of the bigs, some of the guards in a nice rhythm, that can really set the tone against Southern Utah and get them in a groove. Because that's what this team kind of needs. They need to get in a groove. Maybe not get into a close game because the close games have been heartbreakers. Maybe kind of get over these cardiac finishes, and just finish a game out of a couple possessions, not just one. And, of course, Saturday night at Dahlberg with the Bobcat women coming to town. Same question as the guys. What's the matchup there that UM needs to go their way? Well, looking back, I'm pulling up the box score from the 73-59 loss last time out. And, I think really Montana just needs to find someone else to score. Like they had 2 players in double figures, Abby Anderson at 10 and Sammy Fatkin at 24. They just need other players to find a rhythm. They shot 42% from the field. No, that was the first quarter. I'm sorry about that. They shot 38.5% from the field and 3 of 13 from deep. They got to get their offense in a good groove. And that's really less of a singular matchup, more of they just got to find something that works against that cat defense. How do they control and shut down Cola Bad Bear? Because she's the one more so than Miss White, who's been having Miss White's been great, but Cola's been having a great second half of the season. Right. She's been on a tear. Surprisingly, in that win over the Griz, she wasn't a big factor. She went 1 for 8 from the field, only 5 of 6 from the free throw line for 7 points. I think you just got to do what you do on defense and find a way to get her from not getting to her spots, make life uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to do that when you got to worry about Darian White. You got to worry about Gabby Bucci. You got to worry about all these other players because Montana State has options. They're not just a one-person-led team. Yeah. And that's what makes this type of team dangerous. It should be a fun one. And as always, with rivalry, with Brawl the Wildcat, Griz, whatever you want to call it, it's a fun matchup. Sorry, my dog is barking in the background.
No, it's okay. I saw. Is it another cat walking by?
Oh, no, my fiance just got home.
Oh, okay. Because you had one earlier today, the cat walking by. So I think it was you anyway, looking out the apartment window, or your dog. But so what's the dog's name?
That one, the one that's barking is Vegas. The other one, the black one's Willow.
Willow and Vegas. Okay. How do you come up with those names?
Willow is what the small one came with when me and my fiance started dating. She came up with it because she liked Willow Tree.
Okay.
Vegas came with the name because he was adopted. Before we got him in Flagstaff, he came from a husky shelter in Las Vegas.
Okay. Isn't it kind of rough to have huskies in warm climates?
It is, but luckily with Flagstaff, it was cold.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But how do you have a husky breeding area in Vegas? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hot there.
My fiance's from Southern California. It's kind of a status thing, I think, to have that type of dog for some people in warm climates. Even in Phoenix, I remember seeing a good amount of people who have huskies, and I'm not a big fan of it as a husky owner.
Are you a big fan of the handshake line continuing?
I personally am not. I'm not excusing Juwan Howard for what he did. You should never physically assault another human being, but I think the handshake line is kind of just not needed. They don't do it in the NBA. High school, sure. College, if you want to talk to the other team after the game, you can do it like the NBA does it. You don't need to force it with a handshake line when emotions are probably high.
You happy with the suspension, or should have been through the postseason?
I think a short-term one is okay, but it's because he's gotten enough flack for it as it is. So it's kind of tough where you draw the line at that. How often have we seen this type of situation arise, right?
Well, it's happened more in the last couple of years for sure. And he's got 3 incidences now. So
true.
But he hasn't thrown a chair. Yesterday was the anniversary of Bobby Knight throwing the chair back in '85. So
well, that's fair. It could be it could be much worse. I mean, Tom Izzo berating his players and all that. He didn't get that. He got a slap on the wrist for that.
Did you, by the way, speaking of that, did you enjoy Izzo's answer this week when asked about the handshake line and basically everything? Because he went political without going political. Like, I thought it was great answer.
No, I actually didn't see it. I didn't see what he had to say.
It was great. It's on the Twitter. I shared it, but if you go back, it's he had a really well thought out answer, and it was impressive with what he said. If you get a chance
to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, there was like a 4-minute segment and a 2-minute segment. They're both fantastic. But hey, I know you got to call the Hamilton coach. I'll let you do that. Your fiance's home. You probably want to say hi. Maybe plan dinner. Oh, what is for dinner tonight?
Probably leftover enchiladas.
Ooh, they're the best leftover because the juice has a chance to settle in. The sauce. Oh, I'm jealous. Who made them?
That's right. My fiance, she's a wonderful cook.
Okay. So you outkicked your coverage like I did, basically, is what you're saying.
I do breakfast. She's got dinner.
Nice. I like it. That's a great combination. Hey, enjoy the hoops this weekend. I can't wait to chat next week. Actually, we'll have to talk because I'll be out of town Thursday through Sunday. But we'll talk next week at some point. And enjoy all the hoops, like I said. Appreciate the coming on and great work. Love reading your stuff, man. Great stuff up at 406mtsports.com. Keep it up.
Thanks, man. Always love coming on.
All right, that is Lance Hartzler at 406mtsports.com. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We have On This Day in History. We'll have much more still to come. This is the Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle. It's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. Appreciate Lance Hartzler from 406mtsports.com, the Missoulian, joining us. He's great. Loves his hoops, knows his hoops, and he's fun to chat with. You can read great stuff. I mean, he's got a couple of great articles right now up about Mack Anderson and the Griz men. Good stuff. Other stuff going on. You got the NCAA West Regional Ski Championships going on down in Steamboat Springs, and MSU's Nellie Talbot placed in fourth in the giant slalom. Utah's on top of the team standings with 164. So second, third, fourth, fifth. MSU is in fifth place right now as a team. So there's that. And then you've got the Big Sky Championships, indoor track and field going on in Bozeman starting today. So there's some really good athletes in Bozeman this weekend for that. And it'll be interesting to see how that all happens. Lots and lots of hoops. Just love reading scores. Seeing stuff come across, and let's see. Speaking of skiing, Rocky Mountain is hosting the U.S. Collegiate Ski and Snowboard West Region Championships today through Saturday at Red Lodge. Women started today. The men do the GS tomorrow. But Rocky, it's crazy that Rocky's really good at skiing. I mean, it's great, but you just don't think of Billings as a ski town, right? I mean, you're 40 miles or whatever from Red Lodge. But they've been good for a long time, much like MSU on the ski side of things. So that'll be interesting. A couple of great things going on in the state, including hoops this week. And I say that, including hoops. Man, I love love this time of year. All right, so let's recap the schedule. So no show tomorrow because we're doing Frontier basketball from the PE Center at Carroll as the Saints men take on MSU Northern in the semifinals of the conference championships. And then we're back Monday, Tuesday, well, potentially Monday, Tuesday, depending on Frontier championships. Wednesday for sure next week, and then off Thursday, Friday next week, a little golf trip planned. And then back here on the 7th, through, and then in Missoula the 9th through the 11th for State A, but we should be able to do our shows from Dahlberg, like we did last year up at Four Seasons in Great Falls. So it's busy. It's busy. And then you got, what, spring break? There'll be some time off in there. And then we get ready for spring sports, which has actually already started in college. I mean, you've got softball underway. I think Carroll plays Saturday, Sunday at home. Man, this is fun. What's your favorite time of year? Is it basketball season? Is it February, March, or is it, November with high school football playoffs and college football heating up? Or is it summer? What's your favorite time of the year? You can let us know. At JWalker Sports on the Twitter. You can email Jason at jasonwalkershow.com as well. Let's see here. What's going on? End of 3, the Northern C boys up in Great Falls. Belt leading Dutton Brady, 49-19. Eastern A boys, final Miles City over Sydney, 51-31. Florence beats somebody. Who'd they play? Florence beat St. Ignatius on the girls' side. Right? Yeah. Is that 61-38? Did the Big Fork, is that really a score? Big Fork girls beat Deer Lodge today 62-6. Florence over St. Ignatius 54-42. Big Fork boys beat R. Lee 62-44. Loyola boys over St. Ignatius 63-49. Okay. Dillon after 1 leads Libby 16-11. Oh, man. Good stuff. Harlem beat Conrad 71-24. Rocky Boy over Poplar 74-48. That's Northern B-Boys divisionals. Oh. It's so much fun to just sit and watch scores come across and just see, see the excitement. I get excited. I do. So to answer my own question, my favorite time of the year is this year. It's February, March, when you have basketball. You have wrestling that just wrapped up. But you also have baseball supposedly starting. Supposed to. So this time of the year is one of my favorites. But I do love me the summer where I can be outside. All right, so let's update what's happened today so far. And if we repeat some of these, it's because we do. 78-52, Lewistown over Hardin today. Fisher Brown, 22 points. Royce Robinson had 19. Luke Clinton had 15. That's the Eastern A. Billings Central beat Miles City in boys action 65-39. 19 points, 8 boards for Caden Merchant. Western A, Frenchtown over Browning in triple overtime, 71-70. Devin Shelton, 19 points, and hit the game winner 1.2 seconds to go. 3 overtimes. Butte Central, Dougie Peoples had 17. It was 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, and the Maroons beat Columbia Falls today by 30, 64-34. Class B, Big Fork 62-44 over R. Lee. The Loyola over St. Ignatius, as we mentioned. 22 points for Rafe Konzen. Class C, Northern C, Roy Winifred 63-53 over Big Sandy. Shad Boyce 21, Brody Greer 18. Hart Butte over Sunburst 70-39 today. Frankie Calf Boss Ribs had 13. Western C, Shields Valley beat Darby 59-52. Caden Acosta with 20. Dylan Flat 18. Manhattan Christian hammered Charlo by 44, 76-32. Seth Omenrud, 21. Girls side, Class A, Eastern A. Havre over Lockwood, 64-36. That's a semifinal. Yelena Miller, who had such a shootout last year with Maya Hansen in the double overtime State A championship. She had 12 today for the Blue Ponies. Jade Wendland had 16. Maya Hansen led Central over Sydney, 74-43. She had 20. Haley Ewell had 12. It's going to be another great Class A tournament. Browning over Butte Central, 59-44. Mecca Bullchild, 25. Hamilton over Polson. We talked about that with Lance Hartzler. Just finished not too long ago, 58-19. Class B, the Western B, Big Fork over Deer Lodge, 62-6. That was the right score. 32-5 at the halftime, and then outscored the Wardens 30-1 in the second half. That's a divisional basketball game. Northern C, Roy Winifred 55, Chinook 23. Cascade 43-40 over Augusta, 18 for Harley Jackson. The Western C, Sealy Swan 50-36 over West. Emily Mon and Tegan Malden with 14 apiece. Blackhawks now 21-0. Manhattan Christian 43-30 over Charlo today. So that is your update from all of the scores today so far in high school hoops across the state. Love it. All right, let's do On This Day in History. It is brought to you by Pinkerton Leather Company. Pinkerton Leather is a combat veteran-owned company based out of Wyoming. Casey Pinkerton from Montana through and through. American product, American leather, handmade in America. And all built to last. You can check them out, pinkertonleather.com. Use the discount code MTSports10. Get a 10% discount on all products. Today is National Toast Day. Love me some toast. The little one likes to have cinnamon toast. I turned her onto that cinnamon sugar toast. It's a mixture. It's really good. It's National Chili Day and National Tortilla Chip Day. So that last year was like a month before. On this day in 1952, Canada wins its 6th Olympic ice hockey title, courtesy of a final round tie with the U.S. in Oslo. A couple of things in 1980, the Rangers scored 5 power play goals against the Islanders. The 13th Winter Games closed in Lake Placid, and it closed with the U.S. ice hockey team winning gold after a 4-2 win over Finland. That was a couple of days after the Miracle on Ice. 1987, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the Lakers scored his 36,000th NBA point. Joe Sakic, Jerome McGinley each scored twice. Canada defeats the U.S. 5-2 to win men's ice hockey in Salt Lake, the same day that the 19th Winter Olympic Games closed. And 2013 on this date, the 55th Daytona 500, Jimmy Johnson wins his second. Danica Patrick started from the pole, also finished 8th, best ever finish by a woman at Daytona, unless you count Bubba Wallace's second place on the weekend. Happy birthday to Hannes Wagner, born on this date in 1874, a Baseball Hall of Fame shortstop and the namesake of the most expensive baseball card in history. He died in 1955, but born on this date in 1874. On this day in history, brought to you by Pinkerton Leather. Use the discount code MTSports10 at checkout. Get a 10% discount. PinkertonLeather.com.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
The walk-off presented by Cafe Zydeco, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky, and it is time to get a po' boy, I think, or maybe some shrimp etouffee. Cafe Zydeco, a great sponsor, and loves our country, loves our armed forces. In fact, you can get your free soft drinks for members of the armed forces, police, fire, and EMTs at Cafe Zydeco as well. So, fun show today. Hope you enjoyed it. I know we did. And tomorrow, no show, because we'll be on SWX Montana. Doing Carroll College men's basketball as they host Montana State Northern. It'll be fun. Peace Center will be rocking. Be a good time. So we'll see you back here on Monday, potentially, depending on Frontier Conference championships. Tuesday, more than likely. Wednesday for sure. Enjoy all the hoops this weekend. You got Cat Griz in Missoula Saturday night. Ladies, the men on Sunday afternoon. And take care of one another. Remember, wokeness is weakness. Go to JasonWalkerShow.com. We're presented by Capital Collision Center. See you next time.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.